So, welcome along to yet another Pixiecast, and this is a very special one. I don't know if I'm going to regret it at the end of 45 minutes or the next hour or so, but it's quite possible that I might do. Apparently, there's three guys who know each other from Los Angeles, and they had some idea about doing a podcast, and apparently it's called Planet of Sound. I've never heard it myself, but I've managed to get the three guys along together, faces and names that you might recognize, although one of the names is a bit of a mystery to me, but I'll ask them about that in a minute. So in my top left-hand corner, don't know how you've got it set up at home, I've got Mr. Kimball, Shirley. Hi, Kimball, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. Below Kimball is the lovely Hector. Hi, Hector, how are you?
Cheers, Andrew. I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Good to see you again. It was only a few hours ago that you and I spoke, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but people haven't seen that show yet. And to your left, if you look to your left, Hector, you will see a certain chap who I always thought went by the name of Dusty, but apparently his name is Chris Anderson. Explain yourself, Mr. Anderson.
Wow, Mr. Anderson.
I might have. I know I get that all the time too at work. It actually started back in the 90s. I was in this band where one of the other musicians was also named Chris. Mm-hmm. And so there was this kind of long string of names that basically were given to me. So I was the last person to join the band. And long story short, Dusty was the one that wound up being stuck on. So I found out that
other people in the band gave that name to you.
Well, no. So actually, that specific name came from my aunt, who, when I was really little, she had this little wiener dog, and his name was Dusty Star. So when the whole names thing was coming up, there was it was Huggy Bear, it was I can't think of any of these. Spark. There was all kinds of stupid ones and stuff, and Dusty Star. I think I had thrown that out there because I was just throwing stuff out there, and then one of the other guys who was producing with us, Jack, not our Jack, a different Jack, he really loved it and just would continue to use that, and so that wound up being the one that stuck. And then I used it for all social media stuff and for gaming and all kinds of things. So now it's just more people know me as Dusty than know me as Chris. So it's just, I always just go with Dusty.
Dusty Star. Okay, cool. That's a good name.
You are a star.
That's what it was. The Jack was like, oh, that's a great name. You got to keep that one, man. That's so cool.
And the wiener dog.
I'm like, kind of sounds like a 70s porn star, doesn't it?
I was going to say, it's got a bit of a porn star ring to it, I must admit.
Right.
Indiana Jones was named after the dog, so why not you?
Why can't I, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So makes sense. So you got a porn star name and you got a Mohican haircut, so that's pretty niche market.
There you go.
Yeah, we did trim a little bit off. It was so tall before. It was just took too long. I mean, even now it takes almost 20 minutes to get up.
Hey-o. That's middle age for you.
I am old now. I hear the ladies like it when it takes longer. Anyway.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it. Yeah.
That's become a very spiky situation.
Yeah.
Splintery action.
The splintery action.
Splintery action.
Exactly.
So what was the inspiration for the Mohican then, Dusty? Chris, whatever your name is.
Yeah. Ouch. Basically what had happened is I was really heavy. For me, I was really heavy a few months ago. And I basically made this bet with my daughters that I could lose the weight. And at the time, I had a full beard too. And they were like, well, if you lose the weight, you have to shave the beard. I'm like, okay, well, I'll shave the beard, but I get to do a mohawk because I've always wanted a mohawk. If I hit the goal weight that we were going for. And so when I hit the goal weight, boom, I had to shave, and then we shaved this and left the top.
And do they approve, your daughters?
I think they kind of dig it, but then they're also kind of embarrassed to be seen with
I was going to ask, do you go out in public with them like that?
Well, we don't really go out in public with the whole COVID thing, right? So, but I have gotten some good, double takes when you're driving along the freeway. Like, what the?
Here's a question. Do you surf with your hair like that?
Oh no, won't
That
even.
would look awesome, man.
No way. Although these kids, there's these a couple little kids who are always out too, and they call me the dude with the mohawk. So I guess they can still tell. That old guy with the mohawk over there.
So what do you do for a living then, Dusty? For those who don't know.
I work at that Blizzard Entertainment, the gaming company.
Yeah. Doing
they
what?
Make, AV, audio video stuff.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah. So you're a techie then?
Yeah, kind of. That's why we kind of what spurred the podcasting. I knew how to record, obviously. So yeah, we had hung out a couple of times, the guys and I, and it just, I don't know. I've been thinking about doing a podcast anyways about music in general, and because I have a very opinionated mind when it comes to those matters.
Good.
And after talking with these couple of guys and a couple of margaritas, it was like, yeah, we just have great chemistry. I thought, anyways. I had so much fun. I thought, man, if we recorded this, somebody would get a kick out of it.
It seems like margaritas play quite a prominent role, because Hector was talking to me about margaritas yesterday. So.
Yeah, I let him know about the flaming margaritas from when we first decided to do this whole thing.
Were they flaming?
Wow,
they do. Ones, but
I got the flaming one.
Yeah, from El Compadre.
Great. El Compadre, right?
Well, that's this Mexican restaurant in LA that we met at to decide what the podcast was going to be, what it was going to be called, and an excuse to drink flaming margaritas that I don't remember. Maybe I
must have been a good night.
Yeah, I guess
it was a good night.
So how did you all know each other beforehand then? Was that through Pixies or another way?
Yeah, it was just through the group, the Pixies group on Facebook.
Facebook Pixies.
Black Pixies, yeah.
And we met at a Pixies show. I mean, we'd been friends and kind of chatted online, but they were playing, let's see, it was April 2017. They were playing in Pomona, which is just outside of Los Angeles. And so we met up there. These guys met before they met me. I don't know if you guys want to. Okay. Hector, what was your first impression of Dusty?
You even remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember. We became pretty quick friends on Facebook through the group. I think when Dusty and I think we were all early birds with the group, maybe 300 people at the time. But we as we posted on the group about the music we liked, we're very similar in taste. So when Pixies were rolling through Southern California, we decided to meet up, and it'll be a good chance to meet him. And then also we met James Steele. He actually showed up at the same show with his son, Jacob. But I was waiting in line because there was a line to get in, because I had gotten there really early. So I see Dusty coming along, and he's kind of limping. I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on with this guy? I mean, I think that's him. As he's walking towards me, I go, either he's what happened to him? Got in a car accident on the way over here, or I'm not sure what's going on. So that was my first impression with Dusty, but we hit it off pretty well, pretty quickly.
Dusty, what was up with your foot?
What did happen, Dusty?
So the plan was for that evening is my girlfriend was going to drive up, and then I was just going to take the train because it drops off right there, and then meet them up there. I got to the train station a little bit late, and I was kind of like running, kind of dashing. And when I went to dash for the train, I fully pulled my calf muscle. No, I thought that somebody took a stick and whacked me on the back of the leg. That's how bad it was. So I missed the train too. So I had to wind up getting back in my car and driving up there. So by the time I got there, I was hobbling up, and I was like, what's up, Hector? He's like, well, I don't know about this guy.
out of breath, loping down the street.
All sweaty and stuff. I'm like,
totally, because parking there, it wasn't easy, right? It's not like we're just parking right at the venue. It's a little bit of ways.
right. Yeah.
So it's like I walked over and the calf was just like, oh.
But we had not met Kimball yet, and he was at the show, so we're in the crowd, and and so we had a basic description of him through the Facebook and all that. But once we get into the crowd, pretty much everybody's wearing a hat, bearded, and glasses. So
there were so many, like, the hipsters were out in full force, man.
Right.
It's always body doubles.
Everybody had a beard.
Dusty and I had a couple of whiskeys in us, so we just started yelling out his name, Kimball.
We thought this guy, right? We thought this guy was him.
Well, there's one guy,
yelling at this guy, and he's like looking around, so we think, oh, that must be him. He's looking around, but he's like who's yelling at me? Right?
Meanwhile, I'm like 30 feet away from them, centered right in front of Charles, Frank, Black Francis.
Yeah.
And I was messaging them too, and I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know where you guys are. I don't want to lose my spot. I'll see you after the show.
Or not.
I don't know who these guys are. I'm not gonna like sacrifice.
Of course,
spot for.
Of course, we were in front of Paz, so.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
So afterwards, we actually met up, and then we went and met Miles and chatted with him for a bit, and we chatted a bit, and then we hung out, I think, another time or two, and Dusty kind of floated the idea of doing a podcast, and we're like, sure, okay.
Why not? Right?
Yeah.
Well, Hector had some radio experience already, too. He had a radio show in college, right, Hector? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, I just kind of put it on, and then Kimball's just like a freaking encyclopedia.
Kimball has no life, and so he's like, in December of '83, Frank Black had decided to pick up a guitar for the 53rd time of his life.
It was like one of those things where I thought I knew Pixies, then you meet him, you're like, wow, I guess I got stuff to learn, so this is a perfect opportunity. Plus,
so it became a complete set here.
It was a good excuse to get together and have some drinks, too.
Just an excuse to hang out and drink and eat food and ramble on for hours and hours.
Oh, the pizza.
Yeah.
Pixies and pizza. That was it, was it?
That was the first title, and we shot it down. Right, that's not
Pixies and pizza. Yeah. No alcohol involved. So.
Yeah, right.
Pixies and margaritas.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey. So Dusty, how long have you been a Pixies fan then?
Oh man, probably since about 2000. Gosh, I can't remember. It was 2002ish or 2000, maybe around 2000.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I used to work at a pot shop, and so we would just blast music all the time. And one of a mutual friend was playing. Oh my gosh, I better get this right. Bossa Nova? No, it's Hang Wire. Yeah. He was playing that album, and Bossa Nova came on, and something just like
Hang Wire.
Like, was this? What's that?
Hang Wire came on.
That's what did I say?
From the album Bossa Nova.
Bossa Nova came on.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Hang Wire from Bossa Nova came on. Yes.
This is what the podcast is.
Who is happening in the podcast?
Who is this bloke?
And I'm even starting.
Andrew, this is what happens in the podcast.
This is amateur hour.
Yeah, it's like a sad man's version of the Gong Show.
I made loads of mistakes on my podcast, but Jesus, come on, mate. Up your game.
But no, I mean, I could say the bands that I had played in, and I heard they actually were played on the radio in LA on the radio station I listened to. So I remember when Bone Machine came. I remember all the singles, and I always dug them, especially because they were guitar based. It's just one of those things where I think at that time though I was absorbing so much new music to me that it was one of those things where it just kind of took a back burner for some reason. And it wasn't until I heard them again when my friend was playing them that something just clicked, and I was like, dude, that's fucking badass. I need to check that out. So he let me borrow the CD. I went home and I listened to it 3 or 4 times, just on repeat. And I loved it so much. I went to the record store and I bought everything that they had of theirs, which was basically just the main releases, you know, like Come On Pilgrim through Trump. And then I had made a MP3 disc, I know, right? Who knows about MP3 disc, of everything, plus the first Frank Black solo album, and basically had that on repeat for, I don't even know, at least a year, if not more, like 2 or 3 years, where I just listened to that thing constantly, and just was flabbergasted that I didn't get into them like I was at that moment earlier. It was like, how did I? But that's something we kind of talk about a lot on the show, is Pixies seem to be one of those things where you hear them, you're like, oh, that's interesting, that's really cool, but it seems like later people will then hear something else and it like clicks, or something happens and then they click and it's like, whoa, this is like the greatest thing ever, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't, if anybody who's listening to the podcast knows how much we love the Pixies.
so the band that you were in then, what was their influences?
Well, that band at that time, a lot of Britpop bands, so like the Laws.
Don't mention Blur.
Ooh, you've met your match, Margie.
You will.
Oh, come on. Especially the later albums. I mean, I love the early. Modern Life is rubbish to me. It's like one of the.
It's all rubbish.
Oh, why don't you like them? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, let's get into this.
I like about
Margie.
5. I like about 5 of their songs. Sorry, Kimball?
I was just gonna say, let's get into this, Bargy.
Okay.
Your reasons.
Well, now I have backup because I'm always the only one that doesn't really like Blur.
Mainly, I just can't stand Damon's fake Cockney accent when he's singing.
Well, see, that's the thing. We're all American, and we can't tell fake from real.
Yeah, no,
like,
I get that.
He's British. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that's what he sounded like, you know. I don't know. But I will say one of the things is, to me, Graham Coxon is one of the most underrated and amazing guitar players of all time. Yeah. And as a guitar player, I think I immediately gravitated towards that. But it was Blur, The Verve, Spiritualized.
Yeah.
A lot of kind of like that, like I don't want to say it's totally psychedelic, but definitely like in that vibe of kind of classic psychedelic rock.
Sure.
But also a lot of pop stuff, British pop stuff though. A lot of stuff from over there we were into.
The Cure seemed to be a big influence on a lot of people that I've spoken to in this group.
The other Chris in the band, he was a huge Cure fan. But
yeah,
there was like the Cure. I mean, a lot of the post-punk stuff we listened to also.
And Depeche Mode as well. That's another group that a lot of people seem to reference.
In LA, they were huge, like crazy big here, which it's kind of weird because you just assumed that they were that big everywhere else, and then you kind of come to learn they're big in a few hot spots, but not necessarily like England. It took them a while before they really caught on. Or did they really ever catch on in England?
What, Depeche Mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did early 80s, so sort of 81 to 83, 84, something like that. They were big then, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that they weren't over there.
Yeah, so it was some early 80s was sort of what they called new wave, which was when the first sort of synthesizers came out.
Yeah.
And I suppose it was Depeche Mode was the main one, and then Duran, Spandau Ballet as well. Early on, they were in that sort of genre and that as well. And then Vince Clarke left Depeche Mode and formed Yazoo. I don't know if you've heard of Yazoo or not.
Oh, yeah, Alison Moyet's got
Alison Moyet, yeah. So Upstairs at Eric's was and Human League as well. They were really big then. Heaven 17, all those sort of like synthesizer bands.
Haircut 100, remember them? They weren't necessarily they weren't necessarily synthesizer, but they were part of that. Like
they were a bit twee, what we would say a bit twee, really. Yeah. They're the sort of band that your mum and dad would have liked.
I call it the romantic period or something like that, right?
Yeah, new romantic, new wave, yeah.
That's what they called Duran over here, was the new romantic.
Yeah. Oh, and Flock of Seagulls as well. They were really big in America, weren't they? Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah. One of their songs was.
They were considered a one-hit wonder over here, but their music overall is pretty good.
Well, Flock of Seagulls.
I would say about America, though, everything's a one-hit wonder. It's very rare that like a band or a musician out of, unless you're like in the top 40, that then they have like a year or two of fame, and then, you know, everybody kicks into the curb for the next new thing. That's, you know, good old America. Let's just bring them in and throw them out. Bring them in and throw them out, right?
Well, now we're not even letting them in now.
Oh, no.
Put them in cages and then let them rot. Oh, sorry. It's not a
politics show, Kimball.
Sorry.
You need here, Kimball. You need this more than I do.
I know you guys have got some election coming up soon, but yeah, let's we'll stick to the music. So.
Yeah. I need to send my vote like on a boat to get there, because
vote on a boat.
If they'll let you vote, if they'll let you vote by mail.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. I've been seeing, sorry, it's not political, but I've just seen other Americans here saying like it's ridiculous, like the hoops they have to jump through to get their vote over there. Like
those dodgy postal votes.
It's crazy. Anyway.
Fortunately, here in California, they're pretty good about it. Like I got all my stuff. They sent to me, verified everything. So, you know, hopefully everything goes smoothly. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy time over here. I mean, it's a crazy time everywhere because of the pandemic, but politically here in America, it's so divisive. It's like I have friends that are on the other side of my belief system that I still communicate to. And it's just, I feel like I'm pretty easy to talk to. Like I'm not going to unfriend somebody, even if I disagree with them, because I feel like it's better to keep that connection and lines of communication open, because how else are you going to try and work those things out, right? It's hard though. It's very hard because, yeah, it's just hard. It's hard. Enough politics.
That's okay.
More music.
Absolutely.
Down with politics.
So tell me about the music then. So Pixies have been big in your life. I'm still talking to you, Dusty, obviously. Big in your life.
Yeah.
And continue to be so.
Yeah, I mean, if you had heard my guitar playing before getting into the Pixies compared to after getting into the Pixies, you could tell a difference. I would say it's, I don't know, maybe not on the outside, but to me it was. On the outside, maybe not so much because I was into Graham so much, and I think Graham definitely pulls a lot of his inspiration probably from Pixies. I mean, he said so. So, you know, there's that going on. But yeah, I don't know. They're just, I'm so surprised that they aren't bigger here in the States. That's one of the things we also talk about a lot. It's just, I mean, they kind of have a resurgence now, and they have a good, I would say a good solid kind of indie fan base. But you know, there's the shows they sell out are still like, you know, what, 1,500 people, maybe.
Yeah, theaters,
you know, little theaters, which I loved. I mean, that's great for me,
because
then I don't have to deal with a huge crowd, you know, and you can actually kind of feel like you're part of what's going on.
But, I think for a while they were probably actually bigger over here in the UK than they were in America.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Up until the 2000s, absolutely.
Yeah. They would do sort of full tours and that when they come over here and play, and on in Europe as well. So, but you know, that seems to happen. Buffalo Tom are similar as well, although they're a lot less known. But Hector and I are big fans of Buffalo Tom, but I think they're bigger in Europe than they are in the States as well.
Yeah, I think with the Pixies, it was more of 4AD actually promoting them throughout the UK and Europe.
Right.
So they really did. I mean, unlike on here, I mean, you heard them on college radio mostly, and you know, college radio is college radio.
Yeah, when Elektra picked them up, they didn't do anything. They literally didn't do anything for them. You know, it was terrible. Yeah. But do you have a favorite Pixies album?
Me?
Yeah, I know these guys.
Doolittle.
It is Doolittle, huh?
Yeah, apart from Silver, but we won't get into that conversation.
Dude, I was listening through some of the podcasts that we had done, and I totally contradicted myself on Silver because we were talking about Doolittle. I'm so into it. Like, oh yeah. Then like the very next podcast, I'm like, yeah, that song sucks.
It does suck.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to be diplomatic about this.
Yeah.
Silver is fine.
So no politics.
All right. Silver's fine. I feel like it's just when it's mixed in with 14 other like stellar tracks, it it stands out as the odd duck. It's like plus side, it is a nice little like valley before the peak of Gouge Away, like the big end of the album.
Yeah.
But
That
also,
I'll agree
like,
with you.
I don't know.
That I'll agree with you, Hector. I mean, Kimball. Sorry, no, I was thinking I already know what Hector's favorite album is too. You know, you probably already told Andrew because you guys talked, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Rosa, right? It is
Yes.
Rosa, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Bone Machine, baby.
Yeah. And then
Andrew,
Bone Machine
how
was
well
his
these people know
Bone
me.
Machine was his choice.
So,
Bone Machine was his choice. So, and Kimball, you chose well, because I put down two for you. You either chose Gouge Away or Valoria.
Mandy's is Gouge Away. Mine's
Yours is Valoria, which is that's my favorite track. So I'm contradicting myself as well. So
yeah, but
back off Bossa Nova.
But Doolittle, I do like as their best album. Above Bossa Nova.
I don't have a favorite. I really cannot choose a favorite. It's too hard. I just because like yeah, dude, Bossa Nova and Trump. Dude, Trump does not get the love it deserves. Straight up. I think
I love
like,
that album, Trump.
That album, every song is just a hit. Like there's no filler. It's just crazy how good it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like turned up to 11 from start to finish. It's just
but you know, I really even Indie Cindy I love, Head Carrier I love, Beneath the Ire I love. I really can't say that this one to me like is above the others. It's like they're different, and that's why I love them all for themselves. You know, it's like it's just I was even thinking like, how am I going to tell them a favorite song? There's too many that I can't even, I don't know.
So what is your favorite song then?
Let's see how you're going to do that, actually.
As you mention it.
Really thinking about this, and I think when it comes down to it, I will choose one off of Trump. That's one of my like all-time favorites is Letter to Memphis.
Okay, cool.
I know it seems like a weird choice, but
no, it's a great song.
It's just
seriously, dude. Like the first minute of that song is just like Bill and Ted should have written that song.
Oh, dude,
it's just like
it's just on fire,
yeah,
right?
Awesome.
It sounds so good too. But I would say Hang Wire is another one that's way up there. But then I love stuff like Dig for Fire, the things that are a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Dig for Fire.
Or Tame, dude, obviously, right?
Oh,
Tame.
obviously, yeah. Pixie White's favorite Pixies track is Hang Wire.
Yeah,
so you're in good company there.
Yep.
You're in good
can't
company.
Go wrong. That's the thing, is it's kind of hard to go wrong picking a Pixie song as your favorite, right?
Yeah. Is that River disagreeing with what Dusty's saying?
So.
Like, why don't you like Dig for Fire, Andrew?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it's not my favorite off that album.
Okay, I'll tell him later. I'm like, hey, it's okay.
Sorry.
You listen to Frank Black too, right, Andrew? You like
yeah. I saw Frank Black play at the Reading Festival. When
they were good
during his solo career.
The festivals,
yeah, when Reading had great lineups.
Like, it used to have great lineups. Now, not so. But
right.
That's probably because we're old and we think that music's crap. New music's crap these days. But
I think just in general, there's a severe lack of. I mean, not that only rock bands they're the only good music out there, but there's a huge hole where it's void of rock bands right now.
Yeah.
I remember he came on and he had the guy with who was playing guitar with the big long grey beard in his band. Then was that Drew? That's not Drew Feldman, is it?
I mean, Drew Feldman had a beard. He didn't play guitar. He was like a keyboard.
Okay, no, this guy was playing guitar.
What year was this?
It would have been 90, 92, 93, something like that. I'd have to have a look it up.
That's working, right?
Did Lyle have a beard then? I don't know.
I don't
know.
But
Lyle.
I don't think he did.
He tour with them? I don't know if he toured that long. Didn't he only tour for a little bit and then somebody else came in?
I don't know.
There was a guy who even at that stage looked like he was sort of in his at least late 50s, possibly early 60s.
That doesn't
feel like somebody knows and we can leave it in the comments and tell us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it was a bit of a shock at the time, but no, I mean that was a great show as well that you did then. So are you a fan of his solo stuff as well then, Dusty?
Yeah, definitely. I love it all pretty much now. I wasn't a big fan of the Catholics before we started doing a show also. Like once we had to, do some homework for the shows and I had to listen to the albums and actually give them a little time, I wound up really digging them, as the guys can attest to. It's like, I don't know, Dog in the Sand to me is probably one of the greatest albums ever made. That's just unbelievable. But I also would say that about his first and second solo album.
What about his third album? You went nuts for the Cult of Ray.
The Cult of Ray, all I heard was bad stuff. When we finally
cover art,
I freaking love.
I bet, Hector, I like you.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
Andrew?
Again, it's just there's probably some stuff that I would say just I don't enjoy as much as other stuff, but there's really nothing that I dislike. I would be like, oh, I'm not going to listen to that. That's
Kimball, you want to say something about Cult of Ray, or are you going to hold up the artwork for me?
Well, not the original artwork. I know it's troubled you quite a bit.
It freaks me out, yeah.
So I've taken the liberties of updating it and maybe making it better for you. Forgive me, the printer quality is going to run out, and it might be backwards. But this is Andrew's debut, The Cult of Car Parks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, see, that's the stuff that dreams are made of.
Right?
I love you, Kimball. Can I just declare I love you, mate? I really do. That just looks so much better than the original.
I have to give some credit to our friend Julian. He sent me a mock-up of this the other day. It's like, hey, we need to do something. So I'm like, yeah, I'll run with that. So
that is awesome.
I'll send you a nice, crisp digital version of that, and you can rename your podcast The Cult of Car Parks or whatever you want.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. Brilliant.
Cult of Bargy.
Yeah.
Cult of Bargy.
So I am getting into that album though, the Cult of Ray, not the Cult of Car Parks. So I started to listen to it. I just don't listen. I just don't look at the artwork. So before I listen to it now. So.
Put the blinders on.
That saves it for you.
Yeah.
Well, now you have something to replace it with.
Yeah.
Just put it on top of it.
Print that out. Put it in.
So Dusty, favorite Frank Black solo career track?
Oh, well, you know what one I really love and I always think about when we go listen to is, was it five? Oh my gosh, is it even five? It's from the last, not Show Me Your Tears. It's.
Oh, I think you're asking about the first 3 solo records though, right? Not Catholics?
Yeah. So it's solo career, not with the Catholics.
Dude. I know this is really a cliche, but I love Los Angeles. I think that's like a perfect song. But then like Ramona sings. I know it's the next one. Is it? Oh, Jeffrey with 1 F. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's Trompe le Monde, bro.
Oh, that is Trump. You're right. What am I did this one before too. There was I'm thinking of
who is this guy?
Sad Punk, right?
I mean, that's on Trump, yeah.
Sad Punk's Trump too.
The Sad Punk is on Trump, yeah.
Has he done this before, Kimball?
Yeah,
Yes, we did this before.
we did an episode on Trump a couple years ago, and it's pretty much just this over again.
Yes, too. I know exactly. What
Pretty
is
much
the
every
one
podcast, Andrew.
What was the one that I was saying off the first album where I was like, that reminds them? I was confusing the two.
I don't know.
Think
We just
Teenager of the Year.
It is.
Think of all the 18 songs on Teenager of the Year.
I know that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Right? That's.
Quick Google
Why
it
can't the
for
guy
you.
write a song? That's what I want to know.
Oh, he'll Google in the middle of the shows too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He needs to get this right.
It's like, come on, dude. Oh no, of course this puts only his solo stuff. Right. Oh well.
This is the stuff we normally edit out of our podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do editing. I don't do editing.
I know.
This is live.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Oh, really? You're gonna go do that, huh?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Moving
And
on.
so, here
How's
we
the
go.
weather today, Andrew, out there?
Yeah, it's getting a bit chillier, certainly.
it's
Really?
Starting to get a bit cooler, isn't it, Kimball?
Yeah, we had to like full on wear jackets and hoodies when on our walk today.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That
Winter is coming.
We have proper seasons over here.
Yeah.
Not like you guys, just hot and sunny every day.
Yeah, it's hot and sunny again, darn it.
Yeah,
So
I know. I'm still waiting for your dad to go behind you, but
I know. I'm
hasn't
kind of
come past
looking
yet.
behind me.
Are you
I'm
outside?
waiting for that peek through the blinders there.
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky blinders.
Oh, Freedom Rock.
Freedom Rock.
That's the one that I was.
That's the one, is it?
On Teenager. Yeah.
I mean, I do love that one. I don't know. It's like when I'm looking at these, it's like what you can't like. Even, look at the first album, his first solo one. You got Los Angeles. I heard Ramona sing "Hang On to Your Ego," Fu Manchu, places named after numbers, Czar, Old Black Donnin, 10 Percenter, Brackish Boy. I mean, like Tossed, Perry the Wind, Addie Lee. Every time I go around.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't You Rile 'Em. That's what I'm saying. Like every single song. Like
Yeah. I
every
couldn't.
single song.
That's why I couldn't pick a favorite of the first three solo records because to me
Right.
they're all like, there's not like a clear standout one that's head and shoulders above the other ones. It's
You went for Speedy Marie.
well, Mandy did.
Mandy did.
Yeah, that's a great song.
So good.
But I couldn't really I couldn't nail down just one.
Right.
But Dusty has to.
Dusty nailed down
Dusty
the
had
whole
to.
track list of the first album.
I just
It's fun. 3 songs from Trump.
Which song do you like on the album? Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, I tell you Trump songs, but we were talking about Trump earlier. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Or just my
We
memory.
confused you.
No, my memory is just probably
Okay,
too much.
well, Freedom Rock was the first one that you said, so I'm going to go Freedom Rock.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll go
Yeah.
with that.
You
I
happy with that?
thought we did. Sorry,
Freedom
Okay.
Rock.
Freedom Rock. Okay, that's all right. That's a good shout.
I do. Well, I like Headache. You could say Headache. How about that?
I think you're giving him one. You're giving him one, Dusty.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to be trouble. So
Good thing he uses pencil.
Maybe it was Morris Tepper. Did Morris? He played guitar. Was he the guy with the beard?
Could
might
have
have
been.
been.
He came on later, though, I believe.
I'll have to look it up.
No, he played on the first album a little bit.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look it up and
I
I'll
don't know.
see if I
Because
can
I
find
just
some
know that
images.
it was him and Workman were the ones that kind of like were there, then were gone. And right, it was I can do it. No, I can't. You know.
He looked like he should have been in the Grateful Dead or something like that anyway, this guy. So that's what I remember.
He should have been. Could have, should have.
He could have, should have, would have.
And he probably is gratefully dead now, I'd imagine. So
Ouch. Wow.
harsh. He was probably only about 40, something like that at the time.
Oh, for sure he's dead.
For sure. No way
Sure.
people live past 70 these days.
So how many times have you seen Pixies live then, Dusty?
Dude.
Keep a spreadsheet. Apart from
Yeah.
the time when you met, when you were hobbling and you met Hector and Kimball for the first time.
I'm
Can
going
you
to say
put on,
10
like,
times. I'm going to
The
say 10
Jeopardy theme
times.
music.
Okay.
What's that?
Nothing. I'm just.
Mumbling.
I'm thinking about music I would put into our podcast right now. I would have put in the Jeopardy music while you're trying to think of your final answer.
I can't do all that sort of stuff. That's
Yeah.
far too techy for me.
It's for the best, Andrew.
Yeah,
Like,
it's better to have it nice and raw, I reckon,
Oh,
rather
yeah.
than too polished.
nice and
Oh,
raw.
this is raw.
Way to go.
This is raw.
Ours is
You're looking
way
at
too
our
polished and fake and
Yeah. You're looking at our
takes
release
too
date.
long.
Don't want it to look professional, do we? So,
No.
and to be
That's
fair,
true.
Dusty's making it doing a pretty good job of making it not look professional. So
I'm working my best.
You're doing good, Dusty. You're doing good.
Bad punk.
so you got your Pixies t-shirt on, I see, Dusty. Yeah.
Yes.
Classic.
Uh huh.
Classic.
Are you a big collector of the T-shirts and posters?
Not so much the posters. I would like to, but I just know they would be rolled up and not presented like they should be. So
that's the thing. I've got like 6 posters rolled up over here in the corner because
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I
Same
unrolled
here.
them when we moved house. I'm like, what's in these tubes? And there's like 4 that I'm like, I kind of don't even like those. I just bought them because I was excited at the show. I'm like, Anyway.
yeah. Shirts though, I've got quite a few shirts. Usually get one for every show I go to.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever met the band at all?
No.
No.
Yes, we have.
Only in
Wow.
dreams.
Oh, Paz.
We met Paz.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking it's collective of the band, but no. Paz. She's a LA local, and would do shows. Well, she was in another band that I was really into before she got into the Pixies called Entrance Band.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just a local band that we were really into. We would go see all the time. So like as soon as it was announced that Paz was the new bass player, I was just like, hell yes. I actually was a little bit like, she might be too good for the Pixies because she is a phenomenal musician. Like,
well, I mean, not to cut you off, but in their podcast last year documenting the recording of Beneath the Eyrie, you could just see the musicianship that she brought to the group. Not to slag off the other guys because they're great too, but you can just, man, she showed up and she just like, oh, I'll do organ or piano on this. Oh, let's do a weird Wurlitzer organ spinny deal thing. Oh yeah, I'll play some violin on this. Oh yeah, I'll do this. Like she just.
I think she's classically trained though, isn't
Isn't classically trained violin.
Yeah.
So she's got it down, you know.
Yeah.
But I would
great
say,
addition.
yeah, one of the things that goes really unnoticed with her is her sense of groove and timing. I think that is like the big addition. It's like the intangible. You know, people play notes and stuff like that and be technical, but I think feel is just something that it's that that extra little special something that few musicians really have down as good as like that she does. I think if you really listen to all the different bands she's played in, it really becomes apparent because they're so diverse.
Mm-hmm.
The types of stuff that she worked with.
Yeah,
I was stoked. I think that was just hell yeah.
So she's like, and
cool.
Joey lives in LA as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey's in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where David is. I'm not sure where he calls home.
Discussing with Andrew, I think David may be here,
Really?
but I'm not sure.
And you said, Hector, that Charles has got a place in Boston or New England and a place in LA as well, you thought, didn't you?
Yeah, I think he has places in both.
I think
Both
somewhere in
cities.
Massachusetts, I think, is where.
Yeah.
I don't know where exactly.
Well, that's kind of New England for an Englishman. Like
Yeah. I mean, New England, yeah.
Cool. And have you been to any of the happenings, Dusty?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Okay.
I guess it was 2. Yeah, we went to the Vegas one where Kimball and Andy first got to see each other.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And which was super fun because Hector and I we rented a car and drove up, blasted Pixies the whole way. So that was super fun. And then we went to the Nashville happening also.
That one was really fun. I mean, Vegas was fun too, but Nashville was really fun.
Yeah,
we rented a house, and Mandy had come over for that one too, and you know.
Yeah, we got to meet Jason and we met so many people.
Yeah, we met new members there too, so it was awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of people actually when we wound up at the show, right?
Yeah.
I think it kind of, because there was a whole bunch of us, and you know, Pixies were opening for Weezer there, and so I feel like the majority of just the concert goer there was kind of a Weezer fan, and so the opening band comes on, and then there's this little group of like 30, 40 people
going crazy,
dancing, singing, and screaming along to every word, and all the other concert people are like, what is this? And like Hector said, a couple people just came over. It's like, who are you guys? Like, why are you so like, oh, we're from this Facebook group and Pixies rock. So
I think though
we recruited some people that day. Actually, Andrew, we did some recruiting.
I think that people around us started getting into it also. Like it spread, you know, the excitement.
Contagious.
But surely Weezer fans, especially in the States, would know Pixies, though, wouldn't they?
You would think.
You would think.
Okay.
I think maybe fans from like the first couple Weezer albums who were like into the 90s alternative grunge stuff got it. But, Weezer's had highs and lows, more lows than highs, in my opinion. And so they have a whole fan base that's like Beverly Hills type stuff. And so I don't think they care enough to even look into who influenced them. They're just like, it's that Beverly Hills band.
What was their big hit? I forget their big hit now.
Who, Weezer's?
Yeah.
Well, they've had a few. Beverly Hills was huge.
Okay. No.
It Ain't So.
Say It Ain't So. Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly, that's it. Yeah, that's when they were sort of popular over here.
The Sweater song was the first one.
They're not that popular here.
No, they're not anymore. No, but Buddy Holly was quite a big hit over here.
So
I remember.
They're still fairly big in the States. Like everyone knows Weezer. They're kind of. It's sad. They're kind of given the title of they're the rock band. That's famous. They have guitars, but it's kind of like, come on, guys, do better.
Better than Vampire Weekend, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't own any Vampire Weekend records, but I own quite a few Weezer records. So
I think that they're interesting, but it's not my cup of tea either, really. I mean, I haven't listened to the new albums. I gave the first one that was kind of, I don't know, I call it the first one. It was the one that made them kind of popular. I listened to that a couple of times, but it's cool, but I'm not going to listen to it again.
Good
Checked it out. I know what it's about.
Yeah.
No Blur, are they?
They're
not Blur. No. Blur blow Vampire Weekend out of the water, mate.
There you go. What about? Did you like Oasis?
Yeah. So that was massive over here. Sort of 92, 93, whenever it was.
Over here too.
Yeah, they were big. Wonderwall was huge here.
Yeah, but the big Oasis thing was just completely blown out of all proportions in the media and that.
In the States, no one really knew who Blur were, so it wasn't like a Blur versus Oasis over there. But I know here it was.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, it really was.
My first show that I went to see Blur was maybe 500 people. And that was in 95 or 96. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were already huge over in England, right?
Yeah.
Over here, it was like they're playing the smallest club. Like, like I said, like 500 people, It's like, but I'll tell you this, that was absolutely probably one of the greatest shows I've ever been to. The energy was through the roof. And like, wall to wall, everybody like had their arms around each other, just jumping up and down. Like it was crazy. I'd never been to a show in LA. You don't see that, dude.
Everyone's too cool to get into it.
Everybody's too cool for school. Like everybody's like, nice band. It's like that. So when you go to a show and you see people that are like just going for it, you're like, whoa, it really has an effect,
Well, that makes sense too, because since Blur were not like a big name in the States at that time, the 500 people who did go to that show were the hardcore. Loved them and knew them and appreciated them. Yeah. People do appreciate them. And you're going to have a high percentage of amped up attendees at that kind of show. So
I can tell Hector's not a Blur fan. He's just drifting off a little bit there.
He likes them. Maybe not his favorite. He likes them.
All right.
Come on.
I'd go see them, with you guys, but on my own.
Right.
There'll be a lot of whiskey involved to get through there.
That's the thing that kind of sucks with everything going on. We're total show buddies, and that's kind of like we at least once or maybe not every month, but it sure seemed like pretty regularly we make sure and have shows to go to together so we could hang out. And with everything going on, it's like, I haven't hung out with you.
Then Kimball left us.
See, that's kind of the I had to move to get married and have a family and stuff, and so I'm like, if I can't hang out with you guys, no one can. So I released some COVID into the world, and
so How did you guys deal with the loss of Kimball over here to the UK? You still getting over it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still,
I mean,
I'd say we still are getting over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're super
still a
stoked.
mourning period.
Yeah.
I mean, no more pizzas, no more
Pizzas.
drink binging.
No more margaritas.
So basically,
No more margaritas.
it's improved your lives, like health-wise.
Oh yeah, but
I guess so. Yeah.
that doesn't matter.
Oh, Dusty's lost all that weight, so he
I don't
reinvented
have
himself.
someone at me over the table.
Flipping some tables.
I played referee a lot, Andrew. So
He did. Okay.
Yeah, Dusty and I tend to kind of get out
Kimball at a certain point
some
has
of our
to be like,
podcasts.
I think I can get on his nerves just a little bit sometimes.
Okay. Do a bit of sparring, as we call it
He
over
still
here.
loves me though.
Little bit.
sparring. There you go.
Yeah. Bit
Well,
of
that's
sparring.
that's kind of what you want when you have multiple hosts on a show. It can't
Right.
just be like yes.
Yeah.
It'd be boring, wouldn't it?
There has to be
It's
some
not a
tension.
love fest.
It's got to be some tension, you know?
It'd be boring. Yeah.
But I love is Hector's comments under his breath during those moments. Like if
Yeah,
you're
we
not
don't
being,
hear him until like we're editing the show. Like what? Yeah.
So, have any of you got any guilty pleasures in terms of bands that you like that you know that the other two aren't going to like? That you have never admitted to them?
I'm sure.
You guys like the Doors, right?
Oh, that's right, the Doors.
Oh, hot topic,
Yeah.
Andrew. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Man.
Kimball does not like the Doors,
I know he doesn't. Yeah.
but Hector and I do.
What is it
Guilty
about the
pleasure.
Doors that you don't like, Kimball?
What is that? Sorry.
What is it you don't like about the Doors?
Freaking keyboards.
Okay.
Seriously, I feel like if you took out the keyboards, and like, I'm not even opposed to keyboards. I'm just opposed to just like overbearing keyboards that like just, there's some Door songs that just like 10 minutes later, the dude's still going. Just like, you know, just put the keyboard behind the other instruments where it kind of needs to be.
Uh-huh.
And
We tried to tell Kimball that they did not have a bass player, so he played the bass rhythm.
that's a
too.
big problem. Get a
Yeah,
bass player.
Jeez, man.
There are
Raymond's
so
there.
many bass players in the world.
Raymond's
there's
Derek was
shortage,
incredible.
no shortage of bass players.
So which one are you a Fish fan that doesn't want to admit it to the other two then?
Probably
No,
Hector.
okay.
Is that beer battered fish or what are we talking about?
You're battered, yeah. Fish and chips.
Thish.
I'm trying to think of something that I know that it was even better, like, but I don't know.
Guilty pleasures. I don't know. Like,
No.
I think we're all pretty. We have like a core
Right.
similarity type thing. I'm trying to think of outliers. Like,
You're a big Foo Fighters fan, aren't you, Kimball?
yeah, I know these guys. I think they appreciate the earlier Foo stuff, and they kind of trail
I
off.
like the
I get
food.
that.
Yeah,
I get
would
that.
go, yeah.
Hector's
another-
a
I'll agree.
huge
I'll
U2
agree to
fan,
that.
and I don't know if we're the
There you
biggest
go.
U2
There's a
fan.
good one. Yeah, Hector's big on the YouTube. I like some albums, other albums not so much. You
Yeah.
know.
We all love Telyscopes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I've heard of them. I wouldn't know any of their stuff though. Are they
Some more
an LA band, are they?
Now they're Philadelphia now.
Okay.
What's that one girl singer that you guys both liked? And I'm like, we had it on one of our shows, and you guys
Fiona
liked her. Fiona Apple. There you go.
She did a great cover of
Beatles song. Yeah.
Beatles song.
Yeah.
Forget which
You a
one.
big
now.
Fiona Apple fan there, Andrew?
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not even a huge fan of her. It's just that song was a really good cover.
I agree.
I got yelled at for not knowing that she was a great singer, so I don't know.
I saw her live once, and I don't know if it was an act or real, but she had like a breakdown and crawled underneath the piano and was rocking back and forth for like 10 minutes while the band was just like, improvising on. Like, what do we do?
Yeah. Yeah. Dramica.
Yeah.
Dramica.
So, okay, I'll go around the three of you. Beatles and Stones, which one are you going to choose?
Beatles.
Okay. Hector?
I don't know. I like them both.
Both.
I'll go both.
You go both.
I'll pick the animals.
Okay. Dusty.
I have to go Beatles, although I really love the Stones. But the Beatles are the whole reason I got into music in the first place.
Okay.
Like millions and millions of people, right? I'm just like them. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously their career is short, and as much as they produced, and yeah, they were just, it probably is a lot of time and place, but I also think that they were exceptionally gifted, and people were in the right place for that to happen also. I don't, people now like already complain about with the Pixies, some fans only love the old stuff. It's like they don't like the change, you know what I mean? And I find that a lot with music in general nowadays. There's a small group of people who really love music who will go on that ride, but then a lot of people just kind of listen to it casually and they just want the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So
what about Blur Oasis?
Oh, Blur.
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
I'm not even going to ask Kimball because I know what the answer is. Hector?
I'm going to go with Oasis because Andy Bell is in the group.
But only in the later albums.
Andy Bell from Ride.
Only in the later albums, right? He wasn't he wasn't with them during Morning Glory and stuff, right?
From '94, he toured with them, so he was in it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll throw another one at you. I'll start with you, Kimball. Nirvana, Foo Fighters.
Here's the thing. I'm going to break it down. Nirvana is more important. They are more important. I have listened to more hours of Foo Fighters in my life than Nirvana. So I'm going Foo Fighters. Okay. If Nirvana had maybe stuck around and done more, and I'd have
there's one small issue about that, though, wasn't there? Sadly.
Yeah. Like if I had the opportunity to like see them in concert and become like a bigger fan of theirs. Like Foo Fighters have been around for 25 years, and I've seen them 20 times, and I've been able to like follow them through their albums and their whatever. So Nirvana is more important, but I lean towards Foo Fighters.
Okay. Hector?
It's tough because I'm only going to base it on the first 3 or 4 albums of the Foo Fighters. But I'm going to go with Nirvana.
Good. Dusty? Is it a clean sweep for Nirvana?
I thought, no, I'm going to go Foo Fighters. I don't want to say I wasn't a Nirvana fan. I appreciate, again, like I was saying, that a lot of the stuff. But I would say on the whole, I liked, like if I was just going to go the first 2 Nirvana albums against the first 2 Foo Fighters albums, to me, it's the Foo Fighters all the way. The first 2 Foo Fighter albums, I think, are just like
it's tough.
Immaculate. They're so good.
First 3 are just like,
Yeah, I agree.
I love them.
Yeah. So I have to go Foo Fighters.
Okay. Back to you, Kimball. Guitar heroes.
Ooh.
Joey Santiago, Graham Coxon.
Of course.
You can't choose all mine.
I'm gonna say Billy Corgan. I know people hate him, but dude, freaking shreds on guitar, which sucks because all their new songs are like synth songs. Like, where are the guitars? Anyway, but yeah.
Okay. Good 3. Hector?
Jimi Hendrix, Thurston Moore. I'm not going to say Joey because it's been taken, so I'm going to think of somebody else here. And I can't think. All right, The Edge.
Okay. Oh, and we seem to have frozen.
And then I'm going to go with, oh my gosh, I had it and it just closed up my mind. Nick McCabe. I'm going to go Keith Richards. And then let's go for my third one.
Beatles fan saying Keith Richards? What the hell?
I know.
All right.
Well, this is guitar. This is just guitar, right?
Yeah.
He's thinking long and hard.
I know, because I had like one popped in there and then it left. Oh, you know who I'm gonna go? Frank Black.
There you go. Underrated rhythm guitar.
Guitar player for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There you
go. Icing on the cake, just because I just now remembered Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page. All the classics, yeah.
He was one of the first guitar players that I was like, oh. So.
I want an extra one.
What was that, Hector?
I want an extra one.
You want an extra one? Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Johnny Marr.
Johnny Marr.
Ooh,
good shout.
Good one. I like it.
Kimball wants another one now as well.
John Flansburgh. They might be Giants.
There you go.
Wow.
He plays left-handed. He's awesome. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Dusty's disappointed.
Yeah, we're just throwing
Disappointed? What? You wanted me to like say like
Van Halen.
boring.
So if you three formed a band, obviously two of you. Hector, do you play any instruments at all?
I'm a freelance drummer.
Are you? Okay. So you could form a band then, the three of you.
We had this bit where what it would be is like, you ever seen like Beck's show live?
Yeah.
Or like he had this dude who came on stage while the band would play, and the dude would just dance.
He was a dancer.
Kimball and I were joking, like that's what Hector would be for
Hector's
us.
the dancer.
We'd come out and play, and Hector'd run out and be like,
Tambourine.
Like Bez in the Happy Mondays.
Yes, Happy Mondays.
With
EMF had a guy like that.
Mighty Mighty Boss Tones had a guy like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you got a band. Who's the three of you? Who's the lead singer?
oh, Kimball all the way.
No, what are you talking about, dude? You're the one with like an album coming out.
Doesn't mean he can sing.
We'll wait and see about that.
That would be Dusty.
Yeah, we actually.
Dusty's.
What's that? Yeah,
Dusty's the singer.
Probably.
I will happily sing back up. I will back Dusty up.
And bass.
For our show, all the little jingles, Kimball and I recorded those and sang together.
Yeah, we have little segments. We just rip off Pixie songs, but then change the words. We do like Weird Al Yankovic versions of Pixie songs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll do the whistles and I do the whistles and the bells.
There you go.
Who's going to be your biggest influence musically then, when you three form your trio? Pixies. Cool.
What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
What's on your hat, Hector? UCLA or somebody? No?
Oh, Cal State LA.
Cal State LA, yeah. Okay.
What's that? Is that a sports team, is it?
No, it's a local university.
Okay. Cool.
State University.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Cool. Okay, so when you form in this band then? When you can start recording?
It's already happened.
It's already happened.
We just haven't done anything yet.
Oh, okay.
It's like
what's the name going to be?
Three episodes of the podcast are recorded, but they're not out. One was recorded like a year and a half ago. That's the thing. We'll say we're going to do stuff, and then it might not ever happen. So.
Or just slowly. It's very slowly.
Slowly but surely.
Like all good art.
Ooh.
Really not sure people are going to want to hear this, so.
Right.
And that may not be a good idea, Andrew, to push this.
I've heard on your apparently on the Planet of Sound podcast that there's often a lot of bodily gas excreted.
It's mostly
That'll be him.
What?
It's sad punk mostly. I contribute so often, every so often.
The Mohawker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was early on. Since then, it's been a little bit more tame.
Yeah, a lot of our female listeners did not really enjoy it, so we kind of
that's what I heard. Yeah.
slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Some people loved it and were upset that we got rid of it, but
You're not going to get the groupies that way, are you?
yeah.
Not the kind of groupies you want. You know,
He does have followers.
yeah.
So, Dusty, have you heard the new Pixies single?
Yes.
Thoughts?
We haven't even talked about this yet. This is interesting.
I know.
Yeah.
I heard it because we posted it, or no, you just posted about it. That's what it was. I dig it.
Yeah.
I see why they didn't put it on the album, but I dig it.
Okay. You like Paz on lead vocals?
I always do. And I'm
Yeah.
not so like, I'm not as, I saw some people being like, oh, the lyrics. It's like, well, I mean, I don't really have a problem with them. I don't know. It's like, you know, when you have Frank writing lyrics all the time, it's not really fair, right? You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think that's the biggest hurdle it has is it's right up next to Charles's songs.
Right.
You know? And it's good. It's all right. It's okay. Funny. I think musically it's awesome. Like, and I think Joey makes that song. Holy crap. He's just got that like
great.
old spaghetti western, like heavy guitar stuff going on. It makes
I love
it.
the way he does that.
Yeah, the weak point is
To be
just
honest,
the lyrics.
he
to me.
saved a couple of the. Sorry, Kimball. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just wrapping it up. The weak point is the lyrics. But looking at it as it's just a one-off, it's not for any album, it's just a thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. I say do that more. Put stuff out.
Right.
I mean, instead of waiting 3 years for a 12-song album, whereas their first run, they were kicking out an album a year of 14, 15 songs. So, yeah, if you've got stuff that maybe is in between sessions or doesn't fit on the album you're working on, hold on to it and kind of scatter it along. That's great. Do it.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And do you think
over to you.
Yeah, Hector, you were going to say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say regarding Joey that, in my opinion, he saved a couple of the tracks on Beneath the Eyrie, just on his guitar work. Some of the songs that I thought were weak were saved by his work on it. So
Which tracks are you thinking of? Come on, name names.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of ones that I really did not care for. But they've grown on me.
Ready for Love, maybe?
Ready for Love was one of them, yeah.
I love that song. But I get it, because it's kind of like a typical, almost like a Catholic's Frank kind of song, but then the second half is just Joey guitar solo from.
Right. Ready for Love is a great example, yeah.
It was funny because remember he was not feeling it, so to speak. He was kind of really worried about his performances. Did you listen to Did you listen to their podcast they did about the making of the album? Did you check that out at all, Andrew?
No, sorry, I dozed off then.
All good. No, I was just saying.
I was thinking of my next question.
The Pixie, how they did.
I don't watch anybody else's podcasts. You should know this by now.
Even the Pixies.
Is or nothing.
Nah,
but in
not
that,
interested.
Joey was. You could tell he was nervous about his performances and about his parts.
Yeah.
And it's just funny. We were talking when we were talking about it. It's like he's so good, and it's like, when he just lets go and doesn't worry about it and just does his thing, magic happens, you know.
Well, this is something that I've noticed actually, and I noticed it last year when I saw them a couple of times over here. And Joey often does look quite nervous actually on stage, and he looks around at the rest of the group and that, doesn't he? It's like, am I doing all right? Am I on time, or am I, whatever? Yeah. I'm not a musician, so I don't know.
You've said that before. Like, I think about live and also about studio stuff. It's he gets so paranoid. I don't know about paranoid, but so concerned he doesn't screw up or miss whatever it is that. Like in the Pixies podcast, I think there was a point where the producer Tom just kind of could tell that he was like really struggling, just kind of under his own pressure he put on himself. Yeah. And I think there were some takes where he's like, Joey, just do whatever, just like, and we'll record it. And some of the
everybody else's headphones, you're only the ones to hear yourself. So don't worry.
And some of the stuff that he just like did on what may have been just a scratch track is just like, what?
They wound up using that in in the Killer Dana song.
Did they?
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Just say it.
Oh, right. Yeah. just slay it.
But you sort of think, guys, he's been doing this for what 30 odd years more now, and but yeah, it's really sort of noticeable to me when I watch him on stage, and that he does look sort of almost anxious about it.
Well, you know, he's not doing the drinking and stuff anymore either. And I think that's going to be
good point, Dusty.
Or he could just numb himself probably, and probably because of that anxiety and whatever, right?
He's very aware now, right?
He's right. He's so there. He's in that moment. So it's probably, you know, he's just a little bit of a struggle. And I think it kind of sucks that they can't be playing now, because I know for sure when we saw them early on for Head Carrier, I saw one of the very first, they were doing like some test shows, right?
Ventura, right?
The Ventura show, which was amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I got sucked into the pit and, oh yeah, it was crazy great. But when we saw them then, like in Tennessee, when we went to Tennessee, when we went to Nashville, sorry.
Yeah.
Nashville. We went to Nashville. I mean, they were, you could tell, like they had that year
or so
practice, and it was just like they were just on point. Like everything was like perfect. So it's like for Joey, I think that's kind of maybe what it is. That this is the new batch of songs we're playing, and you know, plus they have their catalog is so huge, and they go spur of the moment, you know. So he's probably like, oh, shit, what are we playing next?
He never knows what's coming out, does he? Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So I think all this, like you're saying, you know, he's very aware of them now, and he hasn't had the whole year to go through it where he's feeling super comfortable, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
That's just, I mean, I'm just throwing it out, an idea. I don't know if that's it, but I can see that it could be.
So I know we're hopping around a little bit. I was going to ask you for your favorite Catholics track, Dusty.
Probably what was the one I posted the other day? I've seen your
picture. Is that the one?
Your picture.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I went away. Road I was from. So good. So good. Oh.
I was going to ask you what you like about it, but I think you've just demonstrated it.
Oh, his vocal line. I love at the end. It's like he's stuttering over himself with the lines.
Catch back up to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time. There's like musically things that are happening that I don't think are like, how would you put it? They're not like in your face. They're like these subtle things that if you're not a musician, I don't even think you would notice. But as a musician, you're like, oh, that's so cool because it's so hidden, but it's not. It's like obvious to somebody who would know, I think. But how he's able to make these things that should sound weird or wrong, but they sound right. Yeah, they're quirky, but in such a killer way. Oh.
Weird timing things, or like dropping, you know, beats off a bar and then cutting into something else. Like it all works, but if someone else were trying to do that on purpose to be clever, it would be apparent and just like
exactly.
But
exactly,
Charles just a natural, quirky, interesting, unique artist. You know, that just it just that's how he does it. So
how do you all feel about the future of the band then, once they can get back touring and that, which is obviously such a big thing in their life? All positive.
Positive.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Onward and upwards.
Hector and I were super bummed because we didn't get to see any shows, and I think you guys did get a show before.
Yeah, we saw a few.
I saw a couple of the Beginning Theory ones.
Yeah, because
we never did
Europe, you know, and I think they did a couple shows, and like they did the Troubadour, which was impossible for you guys to get tickets to. And they played a couple like New York.
Yeah, Troubadour holds like 100 people.
Yeah, they didn't really. They didn't tour this album in North America hardly at all before this pandemic crap came along.
Right. So, yeah, hoping that turns around. Hopefully things can. Now, the thing is, I don't even know how I feel about it at this point. I don't think I would go to a venue, even if it was all safe or whatever.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like one of those things where, I mean, I want it to all happen, but I'm definitely willing to wait. But I think they're going to come out on fire. I mean, hopefully. Charles is writing now, right?
They might have an album before we know it, because you know, Joey said they were demoing stuff in February when you know, they were in Singapore and their tour got cut short because of the beginnings of COVID. I think they were in New Zealand for a couple days. They were supposed to go somewhere and they couldn't. So they're like, well,
Brisbane it was. They were meant to be playing Brisbane, Australia, and they cancelled that one, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's right. And so Joey said that they just did some demos for a few days. So who knows? Like if they're able to, maybe they're able to remotely do their parts and kind of, you know.
Which is something you've been, Dusty, with Pete Norris from the group.
Yeah.
Was that?
You dozed off then as well, didn't you?
Sorry, you said something about Peter Norris, but
I said Kimball was saying about they may be recording remotely, and I said which is something you've been doing with Pete Norris.
Yeah.
It was a nice link into you know.
It was a great transition.
It was wasted.
Screwed it up, Dusty.
Completely wasted.
Now you feel my pain, Andrew.
Yeah, you know what it's like now.
So tell me, Dusty, how easy it is to record an album remotely?
It's actually not too bad. Usually what happens is, you know, you have, depending, a click track that everybody records to, and usually there's a demo of the song. Like, you know, Pete has these songs already written, so it's just him and acoustic guitar. So I think James Farrar, I hope I'm not butchering. Sorry.
Farah.
It's been awesome. He's playing drums on them, or has the one that I did last time. So basically, he'll lay down the drums to what Pete's demo, and then Pete will put guitar. He'll put other instruments on it, and then I'll get all those tracks, and then I'll add whatever I'm gonna do to them and do the mix. I already have the software for it, so that way it's fairly easy, and I've been doing recordings for years. So
it's literally just like emailing files to backwards and forwards, like Kimball does with his work.
Yep, we have a Google Drive that we just upload everything to, and I just pull the tracks off of there, and he'll upload them, and then when I'm kind of done doing, like I think for that song I did like 6 or 7 different mixes for him to check out, and then he wound up choosing the one that he liked the best. And so I just would upload them to the Google Drive, and he would check them out and then give me notes, and super easy. I love it. The only thing that you can't do is play live together, which kind of sucks. Yeah. Although the other band that I play with, we keep trying to. There is software that will let you do it within a certain amount of miles from each other.
Right.
But it also depends on what your service is. Like everybody has to have fiber, you know. But yeah, I miss playing live. That's for sure.
So okay, coming towards the end, mainly because I want to go and have something to eat. I'm going to ask each 3 of you to give me a band that I should be listening to that I might not be, and don't say Blur, Kimball.
Well,
let me go first.
I'll start with Kimball. Start with Kimball.
Don't choose mine.
A band
that I may not have heard of. Or Telyscopes. I know you've mentioned Telyscopes. Should I listen to Telyscopes?
That was the one I was going to say. Yeah,
okay, that's right. I'll write that down.
Do you know Local H?
No.
Okay, check them out.
Okay.
Good.
What sort of music are they then?
They are 90s alternative rock, but they're a 2-man band.
Right.
So drummer, and then Scott, the guitarist singer, he has a whole ton of pedals, and he modifies his guitars and puts a bass guitar pickup in them. Okay. So the thick string gets used as the bass stuff, and then he does guitar stuff on it too. Okay. Dusty and I saw them a couple years ago, and in a tiny little club by Dusty's house, there was 30 people there, and it was, man, they're awesome.
Local H. Okay.
Local H.
Hector, have you got one for me?
I'm really trying to think.
You too?
Have you heard of this band? You too?
They have there's one band I'm really liking. They're from Australia, and they have a really funky long name.
Silverchair.
No, right. Hanson's. No. I think it's called Roll, and I know Ryan Boyle.
Rolling Coastal Blackout something or other.
Rolling
I thought they were English.
Rolling Coaster Rolling Blackouts Coastal
Roller
Fever.
coaster blackout.
Roller coaster,
Classic
blackout.
headrest wannabe. Long
Rolling
run on
coaster
name,
I'll
blackout.
find them.
neutral
I'll
milk
find them.
hotel, whatever.
Wait.
That's I don't know the true name, but that's the band you should be listening to.
Okay, I'll
Isn't it
find
like
them. Don't
Rolling
worry.
Coastal Blackout Fever or something like that?
Yeah,
Over there?
Rolling Coaster
Rolling
Blackout Fever.
Wait, is it rolling or rolling blackouts coastal fever?
Is that it?
That's it.
That's
Rolling.
Okay.
Say that again, Dusty.
Rolling blackouts
Yeah.
coastal fever.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Car
Really,
seat
they
headrest.
just banned rolling blackouts or coastal fever. Why do they have to have both?
They better
Maybe
be good
don't
after all that.
bands that were not good, and then they
Yeah.
joined forces.
Two of the members couldn't agree. They like their name better. They just
Yeah.
I gotta find out. I'll see. I'll search for some interviews. I'm sure it's been brought up.
So Dusty, my last question in these Pixiecast is one that was sent to me by one of the members of the Facebook group, Joe Kirkham, and it was for Adam Short, and it goes something along the lines of: you find yourself in a dream, on stage naked in front of thousands of fans. Which Pixies song are you going to sing? And Kimball has a story about this as well, which he might want to share with you, which Mandy shared with me when I asked him the same question.
You can go back and watch that episode.
I did watch it.
All right. Well, you
But I don't remember what you said.
Wait, you had a dream about
Shocker.
Dusty? Wait, you had a,
Shocker, you
wait, you had a
remember
dream
something.
about Dusty naked? What?
Dreaming of Dusty naked. What?
Is that what happened?
Pixie song that I do. I'm gonna say hey.
Hey. Okay. Cool. I don't know why I write that down because I never mention it in the
Hey.
postings. But anyway, hey.
Yeah, I would say hey.
Cool.
Maybe headache. Well, but that's a solo. That's a Frank Back solo.
Of course, the cliched answer is gigantic, but I'm glad that you didn't go for the cliched answer.
That was the joke that he did, right? You joked about that. You didn't you say I should do gigantic?
I don't think so.
No.
What was the one that you did, Kimball, with the guitar?
Head Carrier.
That's right.
I did that for Mandy requested a special video, and so
That's right. That's
3 years later, married with a kid, it worked.
Oh
There
my
you go.
God! How do I forget this? Oh, that's
You forget a lot of things, Dusty.
What are we
Fine.
talking about?
What's Hector done? I haven't seen your interview, Hector. Maybe I
know.
should wait.
No, it's only yesterday. I've got a few. I've got a few stacked up now, so this
Yeah,
one
you've
might
got
go
like
out for a few
probably
days.
300 episodes backed up.
Still fresh.
About half a dozen. So
You're
yeah.
prolific, dude.
Yeah.
Got Mike Flynn again tomorrow after our aborted one last week. So
Ooh, the Flynn.
yeah.
Oh,
That'd
the
be
Twins are
nice.
great.
10 minutes in, Zoom said that it wanted some money out of me, so we had to abort it. So so we're trying again tomorrow. Gentlemen, it's been brilliant catching up with you. Dusty, it's great to meet you for the first time.
You too.
Hey,
Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for getting up early this morning, and you as well,
listen to
Hector.
our podcast when you're done listening to this podcast.
I will do, yes, definitely.
Planet of
And
Sound, iTunes.
Hector, I'm disappointed that your dad hasn't walked behind you in his
I know.
in his vest.
I can get him out here if you want.
You
this
can go and
quick
unlock
show.
it. You can go and unlock him now.
Let him out.
Great catching up with you
Yeah,
guys.
time out. He was sent to the corner.
Thanks very much for your time.
All right. Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.